guys, this is Shelby with the Rogers Public Library. So this week for Makerspace at your place, I wanted to show you guys a cool snowflake craft that you guys can do at home, right? So this is a really cool snowflake that you can hang up in your house as a decoration. And all I used to make it was glue, scissors, construction paper, and stapler. The stapler is technically optional, but I found it very helpful. So these are strips of construction paper that I've cut into, they're 3 inches wide and I guess 12 inches long, something like that. All right, and I'm gonna fold it in half. You're gonna need 6 strips of paper like this. And it'll look nicer if you have lots of different colors to pick from. Right, so it'll be a bit more colorful with snowflake instead of just a single color. So I have the 6 strips that I need, right? I folded each of them in half. I'm going to set these to the side because they're just extra, right? So once they're folded in half like this, you're going to make 4 separate cuts, right? And they should be about evenly spaced, right? So 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And then I'm gonna lengthen them a little bit. So the 2 cuts in the middle should be about the same length, and the 2 cuts in the outside should be about the same length, right? The actual length doesn't really matter, right? It's just it's more important that the sides are even, right? So this is one of our snowflake parts, right? They're not really leaves, but I'm thinking of them right now, right? So we fold it like this, right? This one will need to be folded out like this as well. Like this. Right, so now you see it's this like right angle kind of thingy where the joints are kind of sticking out from each other. So yeah, I just cut the second one. So what I'm going to do is there's 5 different strips, right, or segments right in the middle. So these two are supposed to go the opposite direction as the one in the middle and the 2 on the outside, right? So I'm gonna kind of pinch them, right, where the crease already is, and then I'm gonna fold it down like so. And it's not gonna want to fold down all the way, right? It's a little finicky, but it doesn't matter like a super lot if it's just a little messed up. It'll still look fine, right? So this one, right, and you get the little square right there, and you get the right angle. Have our 6 pieces that we're going to connect. So what I found when I was working on this is that you don't necessarily need 6 exactly, right? But that with fewer than 6, it's not gonna, it'll look a little bit weird, right? It'll be a little bit hard to connect them. Also, when you're working on this, you'll want to stop your glue stick lid from rolling onto the floor. I'm gonna have to pick that up a little bit. Okay. So I put glue on the end, right? So now the ends are glued together, right? Technically, the whole thing has to be glued together, but right now we're just worried about the ends. And I'll use color number 3. Okay. So that's half of our snowflake down. Yeah, this is the next color. Got a gray. Now we'll get blue, should be the next one. And now, this one, we have to do both ends on this one, right? Because we're going to connect it to the first one. Okay, let me push everything together. And there's our snowflake, right? So if you're good at gluing stuff, you can glue the whole thing together. But what I found is that my glue didn't want to stay together super well. And so I ended up having to staple the first one that I made. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with the second one. Just because, right? That'll save a little, or that way I don't have to worry about it coming apart. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. All right, so there's our snowflake. It's a little droopy. It's a little fun. Yeah, it looks cool. And then with this one, what I did is I used a hole punch. I punched a hole in it, and then I strung some yarn through, right, so I can hang it up. If you don't want to hang it up, you don't have to do that, right? You also notice they look a little bit different, right? So this one, shorter strips of paper, but they were wider. And this one is longer pieces of paper, but they're more narrow. Right, so a little bit different shape, and of course, that's all right because all snowflakes are unique. They're all going to look a little bit different just depending on how you make them, right? You don't actually have to measure or measure anything out exactly. You can just cut it however you want. And as long as you're reasonably accurate, it'll turn out okay. But we will have strips of paper and instructions here at the library for you guys to pick up so you can make your own snowflake at home. So that's what I have for you guys for this week. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you next time.